Welcome to Saturdays with Sir Rolland, your weekly training guild on how to slay the dragons of vice with the weapons of virtue. Here's your guild master, the author of the 7 Deadly Dragons book series, and faithful knight to the one true light, Sir Rolland Paterlot.
Greetings, young squires, maidens, moms, and dads. Today is the 18th day in the 4th month in the year of our Lord 2026, and it's a great day to learn the art of dragon slaying. Now, squires, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt invisible? No, not like a ninja or a Bilbo with his magic ring, or not like Sir Topher when he tries to scare Sir Rolland by hiding behind the office couch and jumping out at him. No one is fooled, Sir Topher. No, I mean really invisible, like you raised your hand and no one called on you, like you tried your best and no one noticed, or like you were standing right there and somehow you still felt unseen. Well, squires, today we're talking about some of the most dangerous dragons of them all, not because they are loud, but because they whisper in your head. They work in secret to try to make you think you are unseen, unknown, unloved, and unimportant. So imagine yourself in the following scenario. You travel a great distance to be trained by the great Sir Rolland Paterlot. When you arrive, you find hundreds of young squires who have gathered for dragon training. There were cheers, there were games, there were dragons to defeat, and of course there were prizes, dragon keychains and wristbands and traitor tag balls. Now imagine this. You are there, armor on, ready, focused, and Sir Rolland shouts, "Who can tell me how to defeat this dragon?" And your hand shoots up, fast, confident, certain. "Pick me, pick me!" But he picks someone else. That's okay, you keep your hand up. He asks another question, and again, you know the answer, but again, someone else is picked. And again, your arm starts to get tired, so slowly it lowers. But then finally, your chance comes. He calls on you, you answer, and Sir Rolland says, "Not quite, young squire." And then another squire gives what sounds like the same answer, and Sir Rolland says, "Correct." Now, squires, be honest. What happens in your heart? Do you say, "What a wonderful and peaceful learning experience"? No. Some other feelings show up. You feel rejected, humiliated, angry, and worst of all, invisible. And that's when the dragons arrive. Not from the outside, but from the inside. First comes the orange dragon of envy, whispering, "They got picked, you didn't. They got the prize, you didn't. They matter more than you." Then the red dragon comes, who says, "Oh, they didn't notice you. Then don't try anymore. Why raise your hand again? What if you give the wrong answer and everyone laughs?" And then, right behind him comes that blue dragon of wrath saying, "That's not fair. That's not right. Be angry. Stay angry." Squires, this is how dragons work. They don't just attack what happened. They attack who you believe you are. They attack your very identity as a son or daughter of a great father. So listen closely, because this is the real battle. It was never about the prize. It wasn't even about getting the answer right. It was about a lie, a dangerous one, the lie that says, you are unseen, you are unwanted, you aren't enough. And if that lie takes root, it doesn't stay at the training grounds. It follows you everywhere. To recess when a friend walks away, to the classroom when someone else gets called on, to home when your siblings get praised. And slowly, quietly, you begin to believe the lie that you are unwanted, unloved, unimportant. So, squires, I must admit that sometimes I have made mistakes. Yes, I know. Try to remain calm. There are times I have missed a hand raised or got distracted, or times I thought I was being fair to my kids, but still someone walks away hurting. Even Sir Rolland, a faithful knight to the one true light, is not perfect. In fact, no human on this planet right now is. So don't put your hope in me or your favorite sports star or your favorite team or even your mom or dad. Don't expect any person to give you all the praise and all the happiness and all the joy that you seek. That is like hanging your hat on a hook that can't bear the weight. Everything will come crashing down. Sooner or later, that person will disappoint you in one way or another. So we must seek the truth that slays the dragons, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through Jesus. So here's where the real dragon slaying begins. Because while the feeling is real, it is a lie. Let me say that again. The feeling is real. It is not your fault. You can't always control how you feel. But the feeling that you are unloved or unknown or unseen is a lie. It is the work of dragons. You may feel invisible, but you are not invisible, because there is one who never misses your raised hand. Not once, not ever. Your Heavenly Father sees you every time. He sees when you try. He sees when you fail. He sees when no one else notices. And He doesn't just see you, He loves you infinitely. Not because you got the right answer, or not because you won a prize, or not because somebody picked you, but because you are His. And while your parents and your siblings and your teachers and your coaches, and most certainly Sir Rolland, your trainer, are not perfect, and will most certainly say the wrong thing sometimes or do the wrong thing sometimes, God will never fail you. God is a perfect Father. So don't base your worth on how other people treat you or how you feel or how successful you are. Base your worth on being a son or daughter of a great Father. And here lies a great lesson for moms and dads as well. We cannot make a world where our children are always chosen or always feel noticed or seen or happy. We cannot make life perfectly fair for our kids. And we cannot remove every moment of pain, as much as we want to. We can't just numb our children's pain with lollipops and excuses or prizes every time. Instead, we train them not to numb the feelings, but to recognize them and seek the root of the problem. We bring the dragon into the light, the dragons of envy and pride and fear. We can't always change the world around us or make the dragons go away, but we can win the battle inside of us to learn to face them, fight them, and defeat them. We can walk with our children through their pain. Like Mary, we sit in the pain, we listen, we help them name the dragon, and then we speak the truth. We admit that we are not perfect parents, but we know the perfect Father in heaven, and it is our duty and mission to introduce our children to Him and remind them of our love for them and God's love for them. We remind them who they are and whose they are. We remind them of their destiny to be great saints by the grace of God, again and again and again, because the real encounter with God's love doesn't happen just once. It doesn't just come from a powerful training lesson or a podcast or a cool-sounding song or the most inspiring movie you've ever seen. It happens at home, day after day after day. That is why moms and dads are the first and best trainers in the faith. So here's a dragon-slaying maxim for all of you today. When the lie of the dragon is what you are feeling, the truth of the Father will give you healing. When the dragon says, you are invisible, you say, I am seen. When the dragon says, you are not chosen, you say, I am chosen by God. When the dragon says, you are not enough, you say, I am a beloved son. I am a beloved daughter. I will strive my very best to do what is right and trust in God's grace, and I know that is always enough. So, squires, you may not always get the prize. You may not always get picked. You may not always be noticed by the world, but you are always seen by God. You are always infinitely loved by God. Always. And that is the truth that slays dragons. So your challenge this week is, if you feel unseen, don't believe the lie. Don't hide. Don't give up. Instead, tell someone. Talk to your parents about what you are feeling so you can find a way to fight the dragon behind the lie. Perhaps you've heard the phrase, don't dialogue with the devil. Well, don't dialogue with dragons. Don't let them deceive you with their lies. Don't spend time alone with them in your head. Bring the dragon into the light, because dragons hate that, almost as much as Sir Topher hates losing to Rolland in basketball. And until next week, I'll leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
Hey everybody, Sir Topher here. I will admit, Rolland, you are correct. I do not like losing in basketball, especially to someone who is like 1,000 years old. Oh gosh, I think so. I think some dragons are attacking me. Sorry, Rolland, you're not 1,000 years old. But actually, I don't know if many of you know this. Rolland is a pretty darn good three-point shooter. He doesn't miss very often, which is why he's really hard to beat. And honestly, he's a great athlete at every sport. I'll also admit, just like Rolland did, I'm not perfect. I'm competitive, and sometimes when I miss a shot or lose a game, even when I tried my best, I get annoyed. I start thinking it wasn't fair, or something went wrong, or that I just wasn't good enough. Rolland, thank you for this episode, for the reminder to let that go, to remember that my fulfillment isn't in the game or in what I create or in what I do. My fulfillment and identity is being a son of a great father. All right, now to the resource of the week. I love movies and stories, and over the past few weeks, I've been creating some videos connecting the faith to different films, because stories are powerful. All stories point back to one story, the story we're living in right now, the story of salvation history, God's story. So you can find these videos if that's something you want to watch. You can find these videos on dragonslayers.tv. I've done episodes on Spider-Man, The Hobbit, and the one releasing today is National Treasure. I hope you all enjoy them and that they inspire you. And until next week, stay holy and slay dragons.